Hello and welcome to Ross Cameron's CMP302 Game Mechanics project. For this project I had to build a mechanic that's somewhat interesting and something that and build a test environment to showcase that mechanic. For my project, I decided to go with a 3D platforming experience and build mechanics around that. One of my favourite childhood games, Sonic Adventure 2, is what I'm taking inspiration from. In that game you have multiple actions. You have the homing attack, or if there isn't anything to home in on, you have a sort of air dash, like so. You have the spin dash in Sonic, which I've just changed to fittingly named the charge dash, where you charge up speed and release it all at once in a short little burst. The main focus, I'd like to sort of say, is a bouncing mechanic where you fall to the ground and bounce off it, similar to the bounce bracelet upgrade that you get in Sonic Adventure 2 as well. All of these mechanics work well on their own, but the real magic comes from sort of combining them and getting unique interactions from doing that. Let's get started. One thing I'd like to mention about the ground bounce is that it works differently on slopes than it is flat ground. So if I'm on flat ground, it just sends me up in place. However, if I go onto a slope, it actually sends me at that angle. It'll even send me much faster if I go to the steeper slope here. Like that, yep. You can build up speed using it and such and such. Yeah, you're more incentivized to bounce because you get even more height from it as well. Speaking of height, if I go over to this platform over here, there we are. If I was to reach up and try to get on top of this little wall here, I could try jumping up, but that's not working. I could try bouncing, still don't get up. You actually get more height if you bounce consecutively. So if I show you here, 1, 2, 3, you get more height depending on how much you bounce, up to a total of 3 times. So once you bounce 3 times, you've reached max height, and you can get up to platforms easier. And it incentivizes bouncing because you can't reach up there with a normal jump, even if you're jumping at max height. So it really gets the player to think about how they want to approach platforms and getting up stuff. There's another aspect on the bounce that I won't cover just yet, because it involves combining some other mechanic at the same time. So now I'll cover the air dash, and what it is basically is a sharp burst of speed in the air that allows you to reposition yourself. If you overshoot or undershoot a platform. For example, if I try to jump off here, I'm not going to make this platform. If I air dash over, I make it. Really handy for if you screw up what way you're going, or if you decide that I'm not going to make it there, I need to turn back. So yeah, it's very handy for platforming. It's just very simple and very to the point. It should be easy for players to grasp almost immediately, I would say. Now the next mechanic is the charge dash, and in Sonic Adventure 2, this sort of puts you in a sort of spin state. This doesn't do that here. It just puts you immediately into a run when you release the button. and it only lasts for a very short time. So it might not look that impressive or even that useful at the start, but the charge dash is there to complement the other mechanics, such as jumping, air dash, and the bounce. I'll go over that now. Alright, so we're back here, and this is a good time to show off the charge dash, because I want to get over to that platform. Now I could bounce up this wall, go along that platform there, and jump over, or I could make use of the charge dash and jumping as soon as I release the button, like this. And there we are. So the charge dash, combining it with a jump and an air dash, lets you cross huge gaps that you wouldn't be able to normally. This makes platforms more of a suggestion rather than a necessity, and lets you sort of take your own route to finish the level. Another thing you can use the charge dash with is the bounce. Alright, so getting back to the bounce, one of the other main factors for determining the height you get from your bounce is horizontal speed. So you might be able to know what's coming here, but in Sonic Adventure 2, it should be on the screen right now, if you spin dash next to a wall and then immediately bounce before you get to the wall, all your horizontal speed gets transformed into vertical speed. So as you can see there, Sonic's going way too high than he normally should be able to. And I decided to make this glitch implemented mechanic as such. So if I use the charge dash, release the button, jump as soon as I can, and then bounce as soon as I can, I'll be able to get higher than any other form of vertical transport. So here we go. So there we are. We got like 18 meters there. That's about. That was a pretty good bounce. Sometimes you might, if you delay your jumping or your bouncing, you can get like 11 meters. I've had sort of like 14 meters. But that was a pretty good one. So this makes platforms like even as high as those accessible to players if they use the mechanics correctly. So here we go, and I've gotten all the way up here just a single bounce. I can even try and get on this wall. There we go. So the final thing I want to touch on is cancelling your bounce into an air dash. So after you do a bounce, you can do an air dash, and that's fine. That lets you get pretty high, and then you can boost your horizontal distance with your air dash. But what else you can do is you can actually cancel the bounce into an air dash even when you're falling towards the ground. You can go from halting to a running start immediately. Those are my mechanics. Yeah, so that's it.